Children's is Batman.
Wait a minute. That's not Batman. What are you talking about? That's Batboy.
It ain't the Bat.
Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
Talking about the tales where the shadows crawl. Chapter by chapter, we've covered it all. From the capes and cowls to the darkest night. Every film, every fight, a fancy light. Turn the page, Gotham's glory awaits. Batman on film, where legends create. Oh, we ride through the Gotham skies. From the bat's rise to the villain's eyes. Turn the reels, where the story is bright. A Batman on film, the legends alive. Break down the madness, scene by scene, where the city's pulse and dark dreams convene. From the old to the new, the saga unfolds. A vigilante sail in the echoing cold. Step into Gotham where justice turns. Through words and whispers, the bat returns. Oh, we ride through the Gotham skies. From the bat's rise to the villain's eyes. Turn the reels where the story is bright. I'm Batman on film, the legend's alive. In the shadow of the night, tales untold. Pages turn as the saga unfolds. Join the journey in this timeless quest. Batman on film stands above the rest. Oh, we ride through the Gotham skies. From the bat's rise to the villain's eyes. Turn the reels where the story is bright. I'm Batman on film, the legend's alive.
Welcome to Batman on Film, Chapter by Chapter, a Batman on Film podcast, batman-on-film.com. This is the BOF show where we discuss Batman movies, chapter by chapter, scene by scene, overanalyze, overreact, and sometimes even learn something new about a movie we've seen many times. This is Batman Forever, Chapter 10, Batman. That's Batboy. And I have senior BF contributor here, Buddha in Pockets himself, Mr. Yankee, Pete Verra. Peter Verra.
How you doing?
So you're going to the Yankees game Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday game 2.
Okay.
A lot more affordable.
It is opening day, by the way, if you're listening. We're recording on March 27th, 2025. It is Major League Baseball opening day. This is Pete's favorite day of the year.
Yeah, took off from work. Going to the grocery store, going to buy a bunch of hot dogs.
What's your favorite sports day? Is it opening day? Is that your favorite sports day of the year? Baseball opening day?
Yeah, I'd love to do opening day in Cincinnati. Apparently opening day in Cincinnati is insane. Like, the entire city is basically off, and it's a giant, like, I guess, a parade down to the ballpark, and everyone's wearing red. So, so opening day in Cincinnati, they're always home. The Reds always open at home, so it's a huge deal. It's like a tradition. So,
okay,
if I have to go to an opening day one day outside of my own, it would definitely be in Cincinnati. See the Reds.
Well, the Texas Rangers are playing the Boston Red Sox. So you'll be pulling for the Rangers, I would assume.
Yes, it would be.
Okay.
It'd be
They
nice
play
to
today.
be nice to get a lead.
All right.
Good lead in the
today.
standings.
Yeah. It's just like they only got like about 200 games left to play, right?
161 after today.
I know I'm exaggerating.
It's still a lot.
They need to cut that schedule down. There's
guys
talk
get
of
worried.
that.
You guys lose your first 2 games of the year. You guys get scared over
Would you be
football season?
well, yeah. They get 5 games out. They're 5 games behind. Look here. We're talking about Texas. This is football season all year. But no, I'll be watching on TV unless I jump in a lift and go to a sports bar and watch for a little bit later. I don't know. We'll see. I do like opening day baseball. I've been to a couple opening day games in my life. So, but yeah. All right, Pete. Oh, I'm merely Bill Ramey,
Merely.
the founder of Batman on Film, in case you didn't know. So I think we're past the halfway mark here with Batman Forever.
I'm pretty sure it took Justin 3 years to get where you are in Batman Forever. It took Justin 3 years to get this far. So
What the betting odds should be is who's going to finish first. Am I going to finish Batman Forever before he finishes Batman 89?
He's still going. Oh, geez, Kowalski.
I think there's one chapter left. All right. Well, so we're about at the halfway mark. I saw Michael Ramey yesterday, and he is coming on. I believe he'll be on the next chapter of this here series. So, yeah, I actually put him through his physical therapy yesterday when he came in.
There you go.
Yeah, he had Coach Ramey.
He's the generation under me. He was probably more in love with this movie than I was.
He loves Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
this is the one that the live action film my kids grew up watching with me the most.
Yeah.
So not only do I like it, I liked it when it came out. It was
a hit.
It was a hit.
It was a huge
hit. Absolutely it was. This is your second go around, right? On Batman Forever, chapter by chapter.
I love this movie so much that I end up watching basically the rest of the movie. Like I start with our chapter, right? I may watch it like once or twice, and then I just finish the movie. Like before we got on, I was rewatching it, and I got to the point where Riddler's joygasming in the Batcave, and I'm just sitting there like, this thing just grabs me, and I just can't take my eyes off of it.
Yeah. Well, when we left off, let's jump right on in.
Yeah, go for it.
Batman, that's Batboy. Dick Grayson, as you know, when the last chapter ended, chapter 9, Alfred video called Bruce Wayne on his watch.
The other car.
Yeah, isn't it? I brought it up last time. Batman Forever was like a Nostradamus movie, predicting things in the future. I mean, we have something close to the box today. We'll have something almost probably identical at some point in the future. And like smart watches, when I saw Batman Forever, when he did that, I always thought it was a nod to like Dick Tracy. Dick Tracy had
100%
that watch.
Yeah.
And then, now, I mean, you basically can get that on your watch. I mean, we're right there. I'm sure the technology is.
I'm pretty sure you could do anything on an Apple Watch.
Yeah. So yes, Alfred tells Bruce that Master Grayson has gone traveling in the other car, which is the Batmobile. So this is where this chapter starts. It's Dick Grayson in the Batmobile taking out for a joyride. And he comes across the Neon Gang in Gotham who has captured a girl. We have a damsel in distress here. What did you think of the what did you think of the aesthetic of the gang then?
Well, just the aesthetic of the scene I love. It's the aesthetic of I love that it's filmed on a back lot and we get some great shots of the Batmobile. But we get some of our best looks at this new Batmobile at the time, right? With the glowing blue everywhere. That was good. There's some really great shots in this. And the gang just kind of fits in with Barbara Lang's work or like world, right?
It's
Like
kind of, well, yeah,
from the
comic
get-go,
book.
everything's lit up in neon. So this just
Yeah.
continues with like this was kind of like a thing in Gotham City, right? Like they were going through their neon phase. I thought it was cool. I appreciate this scene because I love Dick Grayson and I love his rebelliousness, but yet like it's all about the end, man, when he gets his frustration out on Batman. Like I think
Hold
when we
on
get to
now.
that
Yeah,
point, bro.
yeah. Hold
I
on,
just
hold on.
I don't know.
We'll get
You want
there.
to I don't care
We'll
about the
get there.
gang. Like the gang's just a plot device. They're just there to get to the good stuff,
I mean, it's.
I mean, I like Salt and Pepper. It was great seeing them earlier.
I mean, it's silly-ish, but
I mean,
knowing
I feel like stuff
knowing
like
what
this is
they're.
legit.
I mean, knowing what they were going for, where Joel Schumacher was making a living comic book, and he wanted the colors to pop and whatnot. It makes sense. Did the
It also gives
gang?
the film like its own like unique identity, right?
Yeah.
In Batman's work, like to be honest, like this neon stuff, it's pretty much unique and kind of contained to Forever and Batman and Robin, right? Like I feel like
Yes.
they've tried to they haven't really incorporated certain aspects of this. Whereas like you see something like the Narrows has been incorporated into comics, right? Like you've seen like every once in a while you'll see like a Shrek's department store or something like that. Some of those things have been incorporated in it, but this is very unique. This like whole neon aspect is very unique to these two films.
Yeah, it's it goes along with that look that Joel was going for. It never really bothered me. Did the
But to be honest, it's almost like New York before Giuliani cleaned it up. It's all spray painted and nasty, and it's gang. Like I know it's obviously it's exaggerated to the 300th degree, right? But
Yes,
it's very gang related. Yeah, it's gang related, and like it's
Yeah.
it. If you look at pictures of like New York and the subway and stuff like that, you could see it's like okay, this is like it's just kind of believable, girl walking the streets of a dangerous city gets kidnapped by like, gang.
Why is she out? Why is she out? And why is she out that part of town anyway?
True, believe it or not, but someone needs to be rescued.
You have to have the scene. You have to have like I said, a damsel in distress. Just a quick side note? Did the subway gang in the Batman remind you of this gang in Batman Forever?
Only because of the face paint. That's
Well,
I always thought.
I
think
didn't
it was a bit
say
of a stretch.
I don't think it's a homage. I just think that it reminds you of that.
Yeah, just because of the face paint.
Yeah,
That's really it.
yeah.
Like,
That's it.
if anything, I'm like that's coincidence. Like people like to stretch things out. I'm like, I can't give you that one.
Look, it would not. It would. I would not be shocked if that was Matt Reeves' pseudo nod. Another nod.
Is
to
Matt
Batman
Reeves
Forever.
a Batman Forever fan? I don't know if I've heard him talk about 66 a lot. I
Yeah,
haven't really heard him talk about Forever. I'm wondering if he is a fan of that movie. I mean,
could be. I mean, he's
I'm
got
curious.
the glasses. He's got Edward
I see.
Nasta and Edward Nigma wear the same pair of glasses.
Yeah, all right. I think that's a stretch, but you look.
No, it's not a stretch. That's a fact. They're the same pair of glasses.
Did he say? Is that intentional? Like I don't know. I don't know.
Did you see them? I mean,
I-
they're the same pair. They're the
Okay.
same exact pair of glasses. There's no way
All
that's
right.
not intentional, and it's the
All
same
right.
character.
Bless your
You
heart.
know? Same character.
Okay.
Guarantee you, there ain't no. That's a stretch. My ass. All right.
I would love to hear if he's actually a fan of Forever. I mean, I'm sure he likes it. I'm just curious.
I would imagine that he is. He is a Batman fan. He's my vintage. He saw Batman Forever like the same. We were the same age, so I'm sure he likes Batman Forever. And he had the glasses in there. All right, so
glasses.
the Neon Gang captures the girl. Here comes the Batmobile. They go, "Oh my God, Batman!" And then there's Dick Grayson pops out, like, "Yeah, what's up? What's up? What's happening here?" And they laugh and carry on, and that's where we get the title. They ask, who are you? I'm Batman. Batman, that's Batboy. Ha ha ha. And they get all the laugh. And so essentially, the girl is able to get away briefly. The gang goes after her. So Dick Grayson follows in the Batmobile and ends up taking on the gang. So here, to me, this is a scene where they want to establish that Dick Grayson is a skilled martial artist. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen him kind of leap from chandeliers and, various poles.
Yeah, but
we know of his athleticism, but can he kick ass? And this proves that, Dick Grayson can kick some ass.
He can swing. I mean, that's not fighting. He's just swinging.
He's got raw talent,
and he was a trapeze guy. So,
and who's a better coach than Batman? Let's be honest.
Me, absolutely. So
really? You're better than Batman.
Yes. Oh hell yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I didn't have to. Did I stutter? Did I pause?
Did I stutter? You make better gumbo than Batman. I'll give you that much.
Well, that's because Alfred makes it. I bet mine's better than Alfred. So, it's a good. You know what? It's a good fight scene. It's choreographed very well. It's a stunt guy doing a lot of it, but they do insert
it's lit in a way where it's very hard to see his face. Yeah. And I like that because it's a lot of blues, and any of the other colors are kind of like these neon greens or pinks, so you're seeing everything but except his face. It's very well shot and very well lit. It's one of the more beautiful scenes in the movie, actually, when you think about it.
We talking with Javi, he did the last show, and I mentioned this. It's a very good looking film in terms of the cinematography and the production design. It is. But let's see here. So I thought it was. They did cut in some scenes with Chris O'Donnell doing, in certain positions, and they got cut it to where you can see his face, and then so you really don't go, oh, that's clearly stunt guy. So he kicks their ass pretty much, and then what is the game?
Maybe like phase one.
Yeah. So what is it's like the leader of the Neon Gang whistles.
Well, he calls for backup. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so more they come out of the woodwork, essentially. More Neon Gang members outnumber Dick Grayson by far. The girl does get away. She does get away before that. And you have this, I don't know. What do you think? Doesn't Batman ever kiss the girl? And and he gives her a kiss, thank you, you saved my life. And she trucks it out of there. And
you need that line. You need that line. It sets up the line.
I know. Did you was a little bit over the top?
It's for this movie, no. It's right on par.
Well, that's fair. For this movie,
if there's anything, Batman Forever is very consistent. It knows what it is. It embraces it. It has no shame.
That's fair. That's exactly right. For this movie, no. And the Dark Knight trilogy, no.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I got to get me one of those is probably the cheesiest line in the trilogy. Yeah. But it's also one and done, and we moved on from it.
Yes. Yeah. It almost would be like that line would have fit in this movie more than the Batman Begins. But anyway, some more Neon Gang members show up, outnumber Dick Grayson. He's about to probably get his ass kicked. And all of a sudden, the Dark Knight himself shows up. You get another Batman. He's up on the roof.
Is this not a great Batman entrance? Let's be honest.
Yes,
just the way it's shot. I mean, the way the cape, the way it flows.
Yeah, very cool Batman glide down from the rooftop scene. He glides down. The Neon Gang members scatter and leaves Batman and Dick Grayson.
Val knows how to work a cape, man. When he lands and he just flares that thing, he knows what he's doing. Val never gets enough credit.
Yeah, I like how they
get a good back turn.
You could tell that the suit was a little more probably lighter. I know it for a fact. It was lighter and had a little bit more mobility
Yeah, it
than
was
the
just more
Keaton's original
flexible.
suit. So
Yeah,
it still was a pain in the ass to wear. But
I can imagine still
yeah,
over
you could
100
probably,
pounds.
you can that like the cape turn. It's almost like like in the Arkham games when he does that turn and then the cape
Yeah.
dazes
No, yeah.
people. You kind of have
It's
that in that, you see that in that Two-Face vault scene where he kind of whips around
Mhm.
and cape hits the Two-Face thugs. So this is this is a this is one of the best scenes. This right here is one of the best scenes of the movie.
Yes.
Dick Grayson begins to just pound Batman in the chest. Batman's just standing there kind of blocking it and
Mhm.
taking it, letting him get it out. And he said, it should have been you, it should have been you. If you told them you were Batman, they'd still be alive. And one of the could be the best line in this movie. Could be the best line in the entire movie. If Bruce Wayne could have given his life for your family, he would have.
I think this is one of the best Batman on film scenes ever. It is like it's got to. If you're talking about like best Batman scenes filmed, it's got to be in contention. Just because of what it means with Batman and Dick Grayson, and that moment you said, if Batman could give his life for his parents, your parents, he would have. He was
Well,
trying to,
Bruce
right?
Wayne,
Like,
and while I like it,
oh yeah, I know they're the
he's
same in my
Batman
opinion.
there. He's
Yeah,
Batman, and he says, he didn't say if I. He says if Bruce Wayne could have given his life for your family, he would have.
yeah.
I'm going to interject. This has nothing to do with Batman Forever. Micah got a new dog. Guess his name.
Bruce.
Bruce Wayne.
There you go.
All right. So yes, I also very much enjoy the scene of at the circus when we see all that. But
The Dick
this
Grayson stuff is the most serious stuff within the movie. To be honest with you.
that and the Red Diary
Yeah,
stuff.
that too. I mean, that ties in with him again, like relating to Dick Grayson, and then eventually breaking down and letting him be his partner, right? Like, because Dick is. We'll get to that in the next like part of this. Like he's he's trying to break down that wall.
I'll say this. I think I like that line then. I like it today. I think it's the best. It's the best line in the movie. I really like how he just
Can't
lets
argue
Dick
that.
Grayson just beat on him, get it all out, and he's just out of breath. And then if Bruce Wayne could have given his life for your family, he would have. And I like how he said Bruce Wayne
He's
didn't say
very
I
stoic.
or
Yeah, just
Batman. Yes.
Val doesn't get enough credit. I mean, as he's sitting, as Grayson is pummeling him, as he's blocking him, he just sits there and he's got this look, right? This stern
Yeah.
look, like he's focused. He never looks more Batman than he does in this scene. From the way he glides down to how he speaks to Grayson, it may be his definitive moment as Batman. And it's again, it's a beautiful sequence to behold as a Batman fan, just seeing Batman literally descend upon like the criminals, right? The prey, like in an alley from the top of a building. Like that's a scene that every Batman fan, no matter what type of Batman you like, can envision and just kind of like, yeah, this is pretty incredible.
Shouldn't he have said after all that, Dick Grayson was beating on him, it's your fault, all that, Papa, he's out of breath. And if Batman had just said, hey, MFer, what the hell are you doing still in the Batmobile? That would have worked better.
I don't think so. I think this is good.
What
as
the
it
F are
gets.
you doing? Get in the Batcave. Your ass,
It's.
now your ass is going to the orphanage. Pack
I'm
your
very
bags.
curious. Is like, was this one of the scenes that wasn't touched before they started changing things to add a little levity to the movie, right? Like, or was it always? Because at one point the movie was a little bit more serious, right? It just was. Or was it
Well,
just because they
it's
subtracted the
not.
red diary?
It's subtracted. It's not really
Yeah.
adding.
Mm-hmm.
They did add. There is some of the dialogue was done in post, like in the bank vault scene.
Yeah.
The bank guard isn't as obnoxiously over the top in the original as he was given the dialogue originally. They went back in post and redid the dialogue and added the goofiness to it. So, and I think some Harvey Dent Two-Face stuff too was was
but it's definitely like
the
again,
delivery was altered in post.
emotional
But
moments within the
yeah,
movie.
it's good. So we're at the Bat Cave. Batman, you can see him go to the Bat closet, the Bat dressing room, whatever in the hell you want to call it.
Again,
He's getting.
for me, this is like another just incredible Batman moment. Like Batman and Alfred are going into like the central Bat locker room to get for Batman to get changed, and then Bruce comes out in the sweats. Like, is there anything more Batman?
I guarantee you, in real life, it takes much longer to get that suit off than it does in Batman Forever.
Oh man,
It probably had a stunt man. It's Batman going in, and then Val's already coming out.
Either that or they just cut, right? Like, but movie magic, who cares?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
the cave looks incredible in this scene, by the way.
Yeah, Dick Grayson, he's just going. All I can think about every second of the day is killing Two-Face, and you got to help me. You got to help me. And then when we find him, I'm killing him, and you get a great Bruce Wayne moment that not only he sees himself, he sees what happened he sees Dick Grayson experiencing what he experienced before, but also you get some tie-in to the previous movies where they address who killed his parents, and they also address
which they do earlier too.
Yeah, that Batman killed in Batman and Batman Returns. He references that.
Another and another. Yeah.
He said, so here's how we'll go. You'll kill Harvey, you'll kill Two-Face, but your pain doesn't die with Harvey, it grows. And to another, and you go out for another, and you realize revenge has become your whole life. Good stuff there.
Yeah, I mean it's you're like, and then Goldsman wrote Batman and Robin too. You're like, how do we get from one to the other?
Let's be honest. Batman and Robin is the same.
It's almost scene for scene
movie. Same freaking movie as Batman Forever, with different villains, a different Batman, and the goofiness.
Yeah, no, I mean it's obviously for another podcast, but I'm like, how did they think they were going to get away with this?
The storyline, it's beat for beat.
Yeah,
the same thing. Anyway, I mean, you had a version of the Neon Gang. Who was there? Coolio in that one? Was he part of the?
Yes, he was the biker. Okay. He was for the biker gang. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
This is another great just interaction between the two of them. I think Val again crushes it here. His speech is wonderful. It's great, like kind of like locker room motivation almost in a way. Of the superhero variety, right? Like it's kind of
Here's
like
a hot take. No, it's not. Some people would think it would be. This is a not so hot take. Val Kilmer's Batman voice is better than Michael Keaton's.
It's interesting. I got to think about. I got to think about that. I don't know. Okay, that's a take. All right, I've never heard anyone say it. I mean, I can't say it's horrible.
And that's
I like
it. Yeah,
he's like it's. I got to think about it.
His voice, his cadence, the sound of his voice is really good.
Val's tremendous. He is. Yeah, absolutely tremendous.
Remember that they had that.
He's an actor. He's a great actor.
Yeah, they had that Knight Rider remake at one time, probably 15, 20 years ago, and Val was the voice of Kit.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, if he wasn't as handsome as he was, he could be a hell of a voiceover.
Would you say Val's a better actor than Keaton?
Let's take a quick pause in this podcast for these words from our sponsor. Yeah.
I think I might lean that way.
Because, I mean, you saw what he did in The Doors, completely transformed himself,
Yeah, I mean, they're different type of actors. And Val's
when I see deeper. A guy, I will say this.
I think Keaton obviously loves his craft and enjoys doing it, and he loves trolling people.
Batman, as Batman fans, we've been very fortunate in the films. We've had some top-notch actors play Batman.
Including Clooney. He's no slouch.
And Clooney can act his ass off. You can look at him, Oh Brother, We're Out There. That's a hell of a movie, hell of an acting job. He did some good stuff. But Keaton and Kilmer, Clooney, Christian Bale's like one of the best actors working today. Robert Pattinson's fantastic. I mean, there's some top-notch thespians.
And Benji
played
did
Batman.
He did good in BVS. As good as he could do. So
Affleck,
yeah, he was good, and it depends on what it was. Justice League was a mess in general. We all know why.
As I said, and I wrote an article yesterday about Ben Affleck. Actually, I said his performance in let's be honest, he's not in the same league as any of the other guys, acting wise.
No, not as
and that's not a knock on him. That's just saying how good
he's a better director than all of them.
Yes, but yes,
he's
still thunder
multi-talented
here. He is a hell of a director, hell of a writer, and he's a talent. So we've had talented,
But again, like it all comes back to Val was just underrated when his time was on it.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, it's almost a good thing that he ducked out of Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
George is even embarrassed of that one. I mean, it even though it catapulted catapult his career. I mean, he's still he's not proud of it to this day.
I'm sure.
But, I mean, obviously Val can't say that. Val can be very proud of this film and his interpretation of Batman. And I think his voice is definitely in consideration when you think about it. I've never, I usually default because of Keaton's subtlety. It's not overpowering. It's whereas or as aggressive as Bale.
That's good. Great. It's great.
Val's got a good one. I can't argue with you.
I like his voice as Batman,
but it's definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed "You Need Help, Harvey."
Yeah. Bruce Wayne lectures Dick Grayson. We talked about that. The pain grows. You kill Harvey, and the revenge becomes your whole life. A little bit of it's the only time I think we've this, and then we see that in the Batman where we've addressed. I'm vengeance. I'm just out for revenge, and you turn that into I have to be more. Batman has to be more. Done differently in these two cases, but still, it's the only two times I really think I would say that Forever and the Batman are the most they've really took a look at the psychology of Bruce Wayne.
I agree with you 100%. It's just funny because Batman Forever is a little bit, at some points, not as serious when Jim Carrey's mostly on screen, but it is kind of a lighter movie, but it is also the one that tried to dive the deepest. It just wasn't allowed to, right? They filmed it, they wrote it, they shot it. They had to take it out because that probably adds an extra half hour to the movie.
Red Diary.
Yeah.
Tops.
Half hour.
Bet you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering, movies weren't that long back then, right? Like
no, and that's probably
you had a few of them, but most of the time running time was 2 hours.
I would say that was probably the main reason. Was like we got to get this in at like 1:58, minute and 1 hour and 58 minutes.
I just remember like why this movie was made. Like, let's be honest, like it was reactionary to Batman Returns. So if anything was going to get cut, it wasn't going to be Jim Carrey, right? It was going to be the Red Diary. The whole purpose of Batman Forever was kind of like, let's rebrand and let's shift focus. At certain times, like it's very dark, but like we said, there's so much neon in it. It's very bright too, so it's very different from Batman Returns, and I imagine that that the Red Diary stuff is just a casualty of Batman.
I think it was. Well, I would say it was probably that was like we got to keep it under 2 hours, and they just
what do you cut? That's it,
and they cut they cut out what basically finishes
the title
storyline and explains the damn title. Yes,
I've argued with you in emails back in the day, many BOF websites ago, about the title of the movie. You're like, no, it explains like, it's a horrible explanation. We've had a few emails about that. And I'm like, I get it, but it's still also like they could have retitled this movie anything. To be honest with you, like I don't know why Batman Forever stuck.
That's why it was Batman Forever, because
but I don't know. It's such a moment.
He accepted. I like the title actually, Batman Forever. I mean, I like the title.
It's distinctive. You know what it is. You just say Forever. You know what it is. And
but it was he came to terms as he says, we're getting in a chapter
Yeah,
at the end.
it's just not as highlighted as it probably should have been.
He doesn't say like, he says, yes, I am Bruce Wayne and Batman. Not because I
don't forget you
have to be, because I choose
lost the
to
bat
be.
for that too, probably Red Diary and the bat.
That needed to be in there. It's the whole, and he could have said, I am Bruce Wayne and Batman, and I'm now because I want to be, and I'm Batman forever. But that would have been too on the nose. But
it would it have been? The whole movie's on the nose. That's what's great about it, is it accepts what it is.
All right. So Dick Grayson still carrying on. He's carrying on, and he says, he kind of like flippantly says, "You can't understand. Your family wasn't killed by a maniac." And Bruce Wayne says, "Yes, they were." Which, the Joker killed my parents.
Yak.
And so Dick Grayson continues, train me, let me be your partner. And Bruce doesn't want him to go down the same path as he did, and that is where we end this chapter.
Do you think in order to make Grayson seem younger, they intentionally had him just like run off at the end of like, if you ever see how he just runs off? He's like, "Let me be your partner. You have no choice in this, Batman," and then he just runs up the stairs. Like he just runs to his room because he doesn't want to hear a rebuttal.
I don't know. I mean, possibly.
It's just funny because he just argues and leaves. He just runs up the stairs like a kid.
It never.
It popped in my head.
For one thing, I would not. This wouldn't work if he was 12 or 13, or even 14.
No, I agree with you. I think the way they approach the age, and you've had issues with this numerous times. I think they did it fine in this movie.
I haven't had issues with Batman Forever. I haven't had any issues with how they did
No, not Forever, but I know you have issues with a younger Robin, like teenage.
Yeah, I'm
Robin.
not a fan of that.
You're more of a driver's license Robin.
You try to get put Robin in a serious movie. You got context, tone of the movie. Serious. This worked. Him being 17, he's still a minor, but he's old enough to where the physical stuff he does is doable. It makes sense,
Yeah.
And I know, and I've said it before in this podcast, on this series, is that I don't care if Chris O'Donnell was 23, 24, however hell old he was. You got 40-year-olds playing Spider-Man as a teenager in high school. So get the hell out of here with that BS.
It's a movie.
Stop. And Chris O'Donnell was very good in this movie.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
He really was.
Too bad he was only Robin in this one movie, because he's Nightwing in the next one, essentially. So,
all right. The transition began. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's where we're at. So, good scene. One of the best scenes in the movie, even with the neon gang. I mean, it's part of the movie. It's part of the aesthetic.
It works.
Yeah, it works. It doesn't. I have no problem with that either. It works. It works in the context and tone of this movie. It does. I don't know if it would work in the Dark Knight trilogy. Probably not. It wouldn't work in the Batman. But anyway, it might not even worked in.
Isn't that? I think that's the best part. I mean, that just explains how malleable Batman is, right? Like, you can have this essential multiverse of Batman. We are at such a rich point with Batman on film that we are essentially, we've been with comics for such a long time where there's a Batman for everyone. Like
one of my
very lucky.
Opinions, one of my beliefs when it comes to Superman on film, lack of success, is that exactly it's the opposite of what you just said about Batman. Batman can be adapted. There's different versions of Batman. Superman is kind of like, if it's not the in the mold of the Christopher Reeve Superman, then got a problem. And then some people say, well, that's too cheesy. And then if you do Man of Steel type stuff, that's too much. It's too much the other direction.
Can't please everyone, and no one's ever happy.
You have to have it right at the exact sweet spot for it to work when it comes to general audience, and it's hard to do. Batman doesn't have that. Batman has the advantage. He doesn't have that handicap. He has the advantage of, you've got Adam West, you got frickin', Keaton, the serious part, everything in between. You got Val Kilmer in between. So yeah. All right. This is one of my. It's one of my favorite scenes of the movie. My favorite. It's got my favorite line. I'll say it again. If Bruce Wayne could have given his life for your family, he would have. So yeah, I love this scene. Love it.
It's great. It's just a special scene. If you can't talk about, I said this earlier, you can't talk about some of the great Batman on film scenes and not bring this one up. And it's one of the, like you said, it's one of the better scenes in the movie. It's a serious emotional moment. It's a great Batman Dick Grayson moment in both parts of it, in the alley and in the Batcave. It's for fans like me who love Robin, this it might be as good as it gets right there. To be brutally honest, who knows what's in store over the next couple of years? But when it comes to just top quality, you want to talk about like serious live action. That's as good as it gets. It really
It was
is.
good. It's a good scene.
Yeah.
Good scene. They really did. They did Dick Grayson. They did Robin very well in Batman Forever. I've said that for years. I know. I do a bit about sidekicks and Robins and stuff, and then
It's not a bit. He hates them all. It's not a bit.
And I do think that some stuff wouldn't work in live action movie, like a 12, 13-year-old kid. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with this Damien and Raven the Bold. We'll see, but
right
they
now, at this
nailed it.
moment,
They nailed it. They nailed it in Batman Forever. John Blake fit Nolan's thing. We'll see what Reeves does. We'll see how if he has a. I've always said that to be considered a definitive adaptation story of Batman, you have to have some version of Robin and that dynamic in the film, and I'm sure that's not lost on Matt Reeves. So we'll see.
It was interesting. I think, and this is we just talking about Robin, how even in the Flash, like there's never a mention of Keaton Batman having any type of Robin outside of like Batman '89 the comic. Like it was one of the interesting things about Robin. I just find.
Well, then now we're getting into that kind of tangent where is the Michael Keaton Batman in the Flash really 100% the 89 Batman?
No,
89
I
Batman?
don't think so. I'm just saying, even it's just weird that
I mean, I
Robin
do.
seems very elusive to that version of Batman,
But
except for
I mean,
that one.
I think straight up it's the 89 Batman. But
all right, fair enough.
But you can say it's just another variant. Here's what I'm going to stop because I'm getting on a damn tangent.
We're having a little fun here. Relax.
Here's what
opening day. Calm down.
Here's what bothered me, even though I found the Clooney scene amusing.
No.
And they even wrote it into the dialogue. It tried to explain why the different versions of Batman looked different.
Mm-hmm.
He's explaining it to I almost said Lobo. He's explaining it to Aquaman, the Flash. He's like, it's like different guys, but they're all Batman. You didn't have to explain that there was Ben Affleck and then there's Keaton and they look and they're different people. They're all Bruce Wayne. You could have just, suspended belief to where, okay, I know they're different actors. We get that, but we don't have to say, point it out that they look different. Where it's anyway.
That's one last thing on Robin, though.
All
you
right.
don't think because of the recent like Tom Holland Spider-Man, people won't accept a little bit of a younger Robin? Like, I mean, not because of age in real life, but with an age of the context of the movie. Like, because Spider-Man is essentially he's a sophomore in high school in Civil War. If they
have a 17-year-old kid playing Robin, Dick Grayson Robin.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, like, I think people because of Spider-Man would be willing to accept even now. Like, I don't think
he's got superpowers.
Yeah, I know, but he's still just a young kid. He's stupid.
It don't matter. He's damn near invincible. Okay,
all right. Okay.
You're talking about a 12, 13-year-old kid who's that kid,
Yeah, I just,
So, no.
I mean, people.
No, if you wanted to
comic book superhero stuff, so
I'll say the same thing about. It's not like number one. It's not Chris O'Donnell didn't look like he was 75 years old.
no.
I mean, he could pass for a seven. You ever seen some 17-year-old kids? They look like they're grown ass men.
Yeah, I mean that's why we card kids at 21, right?
You know,
'Cause they look
for
young.
one thing, but no, if let's say they had got a 17-year-old actor to play a 17-year-old Dick Grayson in Batman Forever, that's fine.
Mhm.
I've always bitched about, if you want Spider-Man to be a teenager, cast that age, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess they think maybe, sometimes, a teenage kid, when they get older, their look changes quite a bit.
Well, what's his name from Shazam between those two movies, right? Because they were filmed
Yeah.
like a decade apart.
Yeah. So yeah, it was. Actually.
He grew up.
Yeah. It's like hell. And if they did a third one, which they're not going to, but I mean, Zachary
he
Levi
aged
would have to
out.
play. He had to play Billy Batson and frickin' Captain Marvel. All right.
Well,
we're
they
getting
probably
out of
saved
here.
some money there.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to play. What's his name?
Asher Angel. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's his name.
All right. So there you go. We're done with chapter 10 of Batman Forever. Pete, we're getting down to the end here. Well, not the end, but we're in the downslide. So you're going to come on for another chapter before we end all this. Remember, because I got Batman Begins coming up, and then you got Batman Returns coming later this year.
You may finish Begins before Justin finishes 89.
Well, no comment on that. All right.
There we go.
Anything you want to mention besides your Joker T-shirt you're wearing? You want to anything else you want to mention?
You can follow me on social media at Pete Illustrated. You can follow my podcast I do with Holzman, Straight Outta Gotham. I do a Spider-Man podcast, Spidey Coalition, and I'm on Ryan Lauer's Batman Book Club. So check me out over there. And I review Detective Comics for Batman-on-film.com.
All right. Me, Batman on Film, batman-on-film.com. And you're already listening to it. I would plug, hey, check out our Batman Forever chapter by chapter series. But since you're listening to this, you're already checking it out.
Well, re-listen to some episodes.
Or go re-listen. Or if you missed, like we did Batman. We've done, we're doing Batman 89. I think there's one chapter left. We're on Forever. We got Begins coming up, and we'll have Batman Returns after that. So, all right. So, Pete, I and Bill, announcer Rachel will finish up here. We'll catch you next time.
You have been listening to Batman on Film Chapter by Chapter, a BatmanOnFilm.com podcast revisiting the cinematic adventures of the Dark Knight, scene by scene, chapter by chapter. Follow Jett on Twitter at Batman on Film. For BOF news only, follow at the Batman on Film on Twitter. To become a BOF patron, go to patreon.com/Batman on Film. To advertise on BOF, visit advertisecast.com/Batman on Film. For Jett and Team BOF, I'm announcer Rachel. Authoritative, definitive, the original. Batman on Film. Established in 1998.
Batman flying night sky. Jett had a dream, now we're flying high. Since 98, it's been online. All the Bat fans gather and shine. Dark nights and Gotham tales, rockets with stories and never fails. We love the Bat, right from the start. Batman on film, straight to our heart. Jett's on a mission, spreading the word. Every bat flick, every unheard. Classic tales and brand new Batman movies bring shades of blue. From the Joker's laugh to the hero's call, Batman time, standing tall. We love the Bat, right from the start. Batman on film, straight to our heart. that family full of cheer. Since 98, we feel the thrill, keeping the Bat vibes alive still. We love the night right from the start.